What's up, weirdos? Welcome back to my channel. My name's Felicia. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe. I put out new horror content every Sunday and Wednesday, and today we're talking about the Netflix show The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. So I did finish this show probably a couple of weeks ago, honestly, but reviewing a series is so hard. I found this out with The Haunting of Hill House. I reviewed that series, and there's only so much you could talk about, and it turned out that I had actually missed 5 things I really wanted to mention. So I've gone through a period of self-acceptance that I'm not going to be able to talk about every single thing in the series, but I'm just going to talk about a few things that have stuck out to me. So let's go ahead and get started. Overall, I had a great time watching this show. I grew up on Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and though I did love watching it, it's much more like a sitcom situation. I was much more invested in the darker shows such as Buffy the Vampire Slayer growing up, and this new series sort of feels more in that direction. It's much darker, it's much more long-form storytelling. It's not like a slapstick. It's just a lot darker and spookier and more drama driven, and I like it. The series starts with Sabrina, who is a half mortal, half witch, and she's about to have her 16th birthday and basically has to decide whether she's gonna sign the Devil's Book or not. And the series goes from there. The first thing I'll say I love about this show is the fact that it is so girl power and progressive. They have put a strong focus on young people creating social change in the mortar world and in the witch world. There are only a couple times throughout the series that it feels a little bit forced, but most of the time it really does feel ingrained in the plot and the drama, and I really appreciate it. Something else, the acting is obviously great. They have great people on this series. Kiernan Shipka is amazing. She is the perfect Sabrina. She makes this amazing, badass, feminine energy really come to life. She is young and the character is young. She's not like a 28-year-old playing a teenager, and it feels really authentic, and she feels smart and driven, and the character is just really relatable, and also someone that feels like someone to look up to, and I think that's really awesome for younger audiences. And she's just a total badass and stands up against the man, you know? Some other characters I really love are Hilda and Zelda. I think they are so well cast and funny and dark and just really awesome. I also particularly love the character of Prudence Knight, who starts the series off as sort of Sabrina's enemy. She's played by Tati Gabrielle, and I just love that throughout the series you get to see so many parts of her inner life and her actual life, and I just think that character is really interesting to me, and I can't wait to see where she goes in the next season. The only character I wasn't super convinced about was Harvey Kinkle, and I just never understand why Sabrina is so obsessed with him. He just doesn't seem to have anything that I find particularly enticing or attractive, but I also felt the same exact way when I watched Sabrina the Teenage Witch as a kid. I was like, what does she see in that guy? What's the point? He's just sort of so-so. And so maybe it's just the character, not necessarily the actor, but that's what I thought. Another quick thing I'll mention that I really like is that they connect it to the Riverdale series. I love Riverdale. I love watching that show. It's also got that sort of dark, gloomy filming with the pops of color. I'm thinking about Sabrina's red coat and bright blonde hair with this spooky background. Riverdale also has a lot of that, and I really like it. I'm hoping at some point that they do some sort of Riverdale Sabrina crossover, which makes sense because of the comics. But yeah, they just mentioned Riverdale as a neighboring high school, and I'm just ooh, is something gonna happen with that? I hope so. So yeah. Alright, so let's go ahead and get to the ratings. For the scare, it's interesting because for a TV show, I would maybe say a 3, but for horror content, I'm really giving it a 2. It's not actually that scary. It's much more drama-based, drama-driven plot and everything. But there are a lot of moments that are very spooky and horror-related, but I wasn't necessarily scared by the series. The gore, so that's actually hard because I was trying to think back because it is so many hours of television. I was like, how much gore was there actually? There wasn't that much, but there was some blood. I'm gonna give it a 2.5 because I can't remember if it was a 2 or a 3, but there is some gore for gore lovers, but not too much. If you're not into that sort of thing, you won't be bothered by it. Overall, you'll be able to handle it. The cheese, I don't find it super cheesy other than it's just it's a teenage drama, so there's gonna be some cheese. That is gonna get a 2 for me, but not enough in any silly way or annoying way. My overall rating, I'm giving it a 4. I really like this series. I'm really excited for the coming seasons, and I just loved it. Overall, they're killing it. The writers are great. The directing is great, the actors are great. I feel really good. So let's go ahead and get to our fun fact, and then we will move on to the announcement at the end of the video. But the Satanic Temple actually sued the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina for their use of their goat-headed deity in the series, and I just thought that was super interesting. It has been settled as of a couple of days ago. They originally were suing for $50 million. They don't say what they actually settled on, but it is all chill now, everything's fine. But I did think that was really interesting because they do use the Church of Satan in the show. It's very demon based, very devil based. The witchcraft is very much in that world versus sort of like a sillier abracadabra kind of witchcraft. It's definitely much deeper and darker than that. But yeah, that lawsuit definitely happened. So now I am going to go through a couple of spoilers. If you want to stop and watch the show before you hear any more, you can go ahead and skip to this second amount right here, so you can see the announcement at the end of the video. But here are a couple of spoilers. Salem doesn't talk, and it makes me very sad. I like the demon familiar thing they're going with for it, but I just wish he talked. That would be great. One of my favorite scenes was, so Zelda sometimes kills Hilda whenever she's mad, and there's a scene of Hilda sort of digging herself out of the family grave and is covered in blood and dirt, and that was the first image where I was like, oh, they're going for it, and I like it. Another scene I just sort of love is the episode where the demon is basically coming into the Spellman house and infiltrating all of their dreams. And so Sabrina used like this cat's cradle spell that basically makes these spider webs go all over the demon, and it's just really cool. I love that imagery, it's so great. And I know some people were like, what does this have to do with like the full series? But I sort of loved it because it reminded me of the Buffy the Vampire Slayer sort of monster of the week model that they used at a certain time, and it sort of had that mixed into it that I really liked. But overall, I just love the demon being covered in spider webs. I just thought that was awesome. And one random thing I found hilarious is that at the end of the series, when Sabrina finally signs the Devil's Book, her hair gets toned, which to those of you who don't know, a toner is basically where you go from a very yellow blonde to a very white blonde. And I was just like, I just love the idea of her signing the book and then toning her hair. Like, it's very funny to me. Alright, and now we're coming to the end of the video. Welcome back to everyone that had to peace out for a second. And so one more fun fact is that they're actually doing a Christmas special on December 14th of The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I can't wait. I love a Christmas special. It's gonna be so cute. And that leads us to our announcement. So I did mention this on my live stream, but I am officially going to tackle the 12 Days of Horror on my channel. I'm going to be doing a different horror movie review or maybe some other horror holiday related content every single day for 12 days. I've already received a ton of requests for this series, but if you have stuff that you really want me to watch and review, please do comment it down below and I will definitely check it out. My 12 Days of Horror series will be starting on December 13th, so I will see you there. I will still have my regular scheduled videos before that. But yeah, that's it guys, that's it for me, and I will see you in my next video. Have a nice scream. Bye!